Good afternoon, John.
How you feel?
You well?
I'm always well, mate. You know that.
I know, superb.
Yeah. Always good to catch up, Phil. Probably winding down the season. You know, it's it's been a pretty busy year, but I always look forward to coming along and having a chat. And I think we'll probably kick off with your side of things. You've had a pretty busy weekend.
What about your shirt?
Absolutely. Well, I'm pretty sure I swapped this. I only went to the Worlds twice.
Yep.
So 94 and 97, and I'm pretty sure that I swapped this with Stacey Vine in 97.
Yep.
So it's one of the English pool teams, one of their casual shirts, and surprisingly it still fits me. I have lost a bit of weight in recent times, which does help, I suppose. So a lot of these things that sort of 97, I was quite svelte, and I seem to have got back into reasonable nick. So nice shirt. I wear it with pride. Stacey, as you know, is now here in South Australia, and we've played together the last few seasons. So good bloke, great player.
Now vice captain of Australia.
And vice captain of Australia, and he was so proud too, because I mean he was denied last time. He was at the World. I think might have been 18. I think he was player of the carnival then, but was unable to represent because he hadn't been in Australia long enough apparently. Yeah. Under the WEPF rules. But you know, what annoyed me and him the most was that we've had a number of internationals, particularly the home nations.
Yeah. The
guys have swapped from year to year. Yeah. You know, hang on. What's one example? What's the kid's name? McKenna. Rob McKenna. He loved the sight of me because every time I turned up, he won the world singles.
Yeah.
I turned up in 94, he wins the singles. Turned up in 97, he wins the singles. I said, you need to pay for me to come back regularly, mate, and I can get you, you can win another one. But yeah, he actually played.
He's Welsh.
He was Welsh and ended up playing for Scotland.
Okay.
You know, so I'm thinking, well, how can they switch like that? And that's okay.
Yeah. Under
the old system, but now apparently that's not. You know, I mean, it's once you set a precedent like that, you've got to allow other people to say, well, look, I mean, he's moved here now. He's been here. Stacey's been here. Got to be 4 years now.
Yeah, not long.
And for probably 5 years, because it was 18 when he 2018 when he was player of the carnival. So how long do you have to wait? Now, fortunately, he doesn't have to wait any longer. And I know he'll have mixed emotions when he goes to the Worlds next year, because we've all experienced it. You, as an English-born guy playing for Australia, me as a Kiwi-born guy playing for New Zealand, playing for Australia. Yeah, it's conflict. Yeah. Particularly when you play your home country.
Yeah, but you still
your personal pride gets you over.
Yours want to get one over him as well.
Yeah, well that too. That's it. Yeah.
And I'm sure Stacey will be.
Oh, don't worry, Stacey he'll have his best form. So yeah, that's the story behind the shirt. And yeah, nice shirt. I don't think actually it's not really a colour I would wear a lot, but there you go.
It looks good on you. Would it look good on Stacey? So
yeah, that's right.
Champion shirt. Yeah, well, we had a really big weekend of snooker this week, John. Well, this whole week was big, but the weekend we had the Ian Chappell Invitational Snooker.
Yeah, it's great that Ian comes down for that too. I mean,
but we're so blessed that he's the patron of South Australian snooker, and whenever he's in Adelaide, he always calls in Snooker SA. So he probably calls in 4 times a year.
Yep.
He always gravitates to James, and James gives him a lesson. And the beauty about Ian, he loves to talk to you. So he's not like an icon that doesn't want to talk to anyone. He's happy to chat. Yep. So it's always a privilege to have him here, and to get into Ian Chappell, we always reward all the people that have won events during the year. So the state champion, or the 6th red champion, or the minor champion, or the ladies champion.
Yep. All
the champions get invited first, and then all the people that have achieved in the leagues then get. So if you've won one of the league comps, so it's like you've got to win an event to get into the invitation.
Yep.
So so they get to meet Ian, and he came down and he. First of all, chatted with all the people, then he had photographs with everyone, then he signed autographs. And when we introduced him to Stacey, we mentioned how Stacey was the new captain of Australia, and Ian gave him some tips as well on what to do with them English people. But anyway, so that was cool. But the great thing was, John, was when he got introduced to Jason Yu as the Australian junior champion. Ian straight away took interest in him, asked him how he won, how he did, and all that sort of stuff. So the other person I'd already let Ian know about was Tyson Crinus, and how he's our state champion and he's from New South Wales. Just the fact that Ian is from, he's from Adelaide, but he's living in New South Wales. And so I let him know about Tyson. When the competition started, Ian was probably in the room for, I don't know, maybe 3 hours. But as soon as the comp started, the player that he went to watch was Jason. And I thought, wow, like, you got an Australian icon, Australian cricket legend, and out of all the people in the room, he went to watch Jason play.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You know, he understands the value of probably focusing on youth, no matter what the sport is. You know, obviously he comes from the cricket background, but he knows that, you know, he probably spent some time with junior cricketers while he's here as well. Because that's any sport. You need to have growth, and when you have young players that are performing at such a high level, it's just fantastic. You know, because I remember I saw a post recently from Lily Melbourne, and Lily is Tasmanian. And she won the under. She
was the under 16 champion. Jason beat her in the final to win this title.
Okay,
so
right.
she was winning. She's been winning the boys' events.
Yeah, and I love the girl. I got to spend a little bit of time with her in Tasmania and watch her play. Fantastic game, and she played. In Albury, she played for Tassie in the national pool champs, and conducted herself very well. And she made the Australian side as well. So, you know, to see two young talents like that are both winning Australian titles, and they're only like, they're 14. Both of them are 14.
Jason's 13.
Oh, he's not quite 14 yet.
No,
that's right.
He's still got 6 months to go.
There's so many. I mean, you look at, you know, we discussed the Bella Di Giorgio, 21, winning everything. Holly Vailua from WA, another young talent. So it's good to see that there's certainly emerging young talent, and they're not just, I suppose, they're not emerging, they're already winning things. You know, there's a huge future in Cuesports, because they play both snooker and pool, and, you know, they probably would play in the other game. And there's so many hours going on as well.
Jason plays billiards, John.
Well, that's right. He did tell me he was spending some time with billiards, and it's an invaluable skill if you want to further your snooker game.
But with Ian though, John, I just loved the fact that he gravitated to Jason and watched him. But before we started, he gave us a speech, and he actually said that when he was a captain, he didn't give team speeches, because he said he thought they were a waste of time, and that no one would listen. But he gave the group a speech, and I thought it was fantastic. And he spoke about winning from the very first ball. In cricket, the first delivery that's when you start to win. And he was saying that snooker should be the same. Your very first ball that you take on is about winning the frame. And he gave this motivation speech. I was thinking, wow, this is really cool. And so that motivated us and all, got us going during the day. And on the day, Tyson Crinus had the highest break of the day. He made a 88.
Okay.
And that was in the round robin. And in the finals, Jason New had a 72 clearance, John. So it's 13 and he's making 72 breaks. I don't know. It's amazing. But with the event on Sunday, it's the 147 format, and it was handicapped. So even Tyson making an 88 break into the plate event went Tyson Crinus, Stacey Vine, Peter Udich. I was the only one that escaped through that, but it didn't help me any, John, in the final 8. But that handicap helps a lot. So, and the past winners have been Sean Budd, myself, Stacey Vine. So the higher ranked players have been the ones winning it. But on the weekend, everyone had a shout, and it all played well. So the eventual winner was Mark Potter.
Okay.
So that's 2 events he's won now this year. So, and he's a newcomer, and he's improving. So he was first. Second was Tanarag.
Okay. Well, you mentioned his name a number of times.
Yeah. Well, he won the minor state billiards, and in third place was Jason New. And Tanarag, with an Indian background, one, he loved Ian Chappell.
Yeah.
Secondly, the winner and runner-up both got signed cricket bats, John. So they were super wrap to get them. And then in the plate event, that was won by Tom Arnold, and in second place was Tyson Crinus. So Tom Arnold also got a signed cricket bat, and Tyson Crinus got a signed cricket ball. So for a few hours play, you get to meet an Aussie icon and receive a signed cricket bat. It's a pretty good deal. So as I said, that's always when the cricket's on here in Adelaide in December, so we all look forward to that. So that was a fantastic day. And then on the Sunday, we had the South Australian Minor State Snooker. Now in the past couple of years, that event, John, has really picked up because the room's been flourishing. We've got a lot of players that want to play in that, and last year's champion was John Quinlan.
Yep.
The year before that was Frank Zhao.
Okay.
And, you know, both them players are in our Championship League snooker, top line players. So the people that are emerging from this event are progressing.
Yep.
And our numbers were slightly down on last year, but I think it was because we held it at this time of the year. The event got cancelled earlier in the year,
yep,
and we could only fit it in this weekend. But it was still a high quality field. Peter Darby played in it, which, as you know, Peter Darby's been very sick.
Yes.
Just had an operation recently and got the whole clear. So that was...
Look, I was very pleased. I was only talking about him last weekend, and I was so pleased to hear that Darbs, the great man, as we refer to him, is fit and healthy again, and apparently sort of lost a lot of weight, but it'll take a couple of years, but that'll come back. It's just a matter of time, and he'll be back to full strength, and no doubt attempting to win more titles.
Well, he gave me the phone call, John, when after his operation, it sounded like he'd won Cross Lotto, and he said, Phil, let them know that I'm coming back to terrorise them all. And honestly, that was probably only 3 weeks ago, and he played on the weekend, and I know he's struggling a little bit, but his love for the game and wanting to compete and play, so he played, and he got through to the quarterfinals, where I probably had him slight favourite against Phil Mizik. Well, Phil Mizik defeated him. So we had the round robins. I'll just go from the quarterfinals. So Phil Mizik defeated Peter Darby. Then we had Alex Wong playing against Alan Murphy. Okay. So a past champion playing against one of the up-and-comers. Who was my dark horse to win the event, Alex. He had the highest break in the tournament, which was 44.
Yep.
And then in the next semi-final, we had Craig Heath and Glenn D'Amica, two previous champions from years back. And Glenn D'Amica beat Craig Heath in a respotted black in the deciding frame, so that was a close match. And then we had the Battle of the Youngsters, which was Jason New, the Australian Junior Champion, versus Ben Zauko, the SA Junior Champion, of which Ben didn't quite get over the line. Jason just picked him at the post. So the semi-finals was Glenn D'Amica and Jason New and Phil Mizik and losing the plot now. Yeah. Phil Mizik played Alex Wong. And I had Alex Wong favourite there, John, a clear favourite, and Phil Mizik played superb in that match. It was a very good match, and he got up and beat him on the black to get into the final. And in the other match went to the deciding frame as well, which was between Glenn D'Amica and Jason New, and Jason New got up in the deciding frame. So it was a Phil Mizik, Jason New final, and the final started rather late. It was like 9:45. I think that's normally the time Jason New goes to bed.
Yeah, that's
so,
right. He's stacking Z's by then, usually, yeah.
I think he was a little bit tired going into the final, but nothing taken away from Phil Mizik. Phil beat Jason 2-0, and Phil played extremely well.
Oh, good on.
It's just that I had Jason.
I would have been, fairly clear favourite there, I thought. And what the handicaps was no handicap. Okay, off the bat then. Well, that's a big effort by Phil.
So Phil, as you know from 8-ball, he is a super competitive player.
Yep.
A bit like Glenn D'Amica, who's been around for a long time, plays 8-ball also. Whenever the pool players come into this room, I know they're going to be competitive because it's that we're all teaching them to win, and so I knew that Phil Mizik was going to be hard to beat anyway.
Yep.
I just had him. I had the two snooker players slightly favourite.
Yeah, well, probably the more skilled break builders as well. I would have thought. Jason would be more likely to get a break.
The only difference is Phil's got experience, and not only that, John, he does play in the league here, and he has played in snooker comps before, so it's not like he's out of the blue playing snooker. Phil has an history of playing snooker, But
excuse me, Phil,
all I can say is that Phil Mizik, congratulations on winning the SA Minor State Snooker. Very proud of your performance over the weekend, and also to Jason making another final. In the past, it's like talking about, every week we talk 8 ball, it's about Alex, Stacey or Lyndall, where at the moment, if we talk snooker, it's Jason Yu. So he's if he's not winning the event, he's
in the frame. He's always in the frame. That's good. And he's at the pointy end of all the tournaments, and it just shows his continual growth.
Yeah.
He's actually got a very heavy agenda. They all start the juniors. 8 ball starts, I think it's the 8th of January, and then they'll go straight into the snooker at Albury. So,
John, you know, we're talking like this is the last show of the year. It's the end of the year. Not only that, so Jason Yu has got the Australian 8 ball, Australian snooker. Then he goes straight from there to Blue Mountains. He's playing in the World Junior Snooker, and after that, he's playing in the World Open Snooker. So. You know, we're only be 1 week into February, and Jason Yu's already played in probably 7 tournaments, because at the juniors he's going to be playing in the billiards, and he's playing in the snooker, and he's playing in the teams. So he'll probably be in the teams for 8 ball and the singles, then the world singles, and then the world junior singles. So come the 5th week of the year, Jason will already have competed in 2 national titles and 2 world championships. It's not a bad little warm-up.
Yeah, I know. Well, I did notice in the post that Lily was competing in all those events as well.
There as well. Yeah.
So great to see 2 young Aussies out there really doing very well. Obviously, we've adopted Jason. He's Chinese, but he's certainly very, very much an Australian to us, and we both take great joy in talking to him and Patrick, his dad, and they just love him being in Australia as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just fantastic. We've got 2 teenagers, and early teens. I'm not talking about 18s and 19s. Early teenagers competing at the top level in Australia, and obviously we're sure they'll do well for us in the international series as well.
Yeah, well, they're not only competing with the juniors, they're competing in the open bracket there, John. So Lily will be playing in the World Open as well. So it's brilliant. So this end of year stuff, John, it looks like we're probably going to have like a week's break, and then it'll be all go again. So
I know, it's fantastic. I mean, there'll be a lot on our agenda in the new year. Just jumping back to April, you've covered most of that.
All sneakers done.
We actually have our summer Super League finals on the weekend. So we're down to the semis, and we have Empire Bridge playing Red Ducks, which is a combo team of Empire and
the Mighty Ducks.
The Ducks, and then Chalkers Red. So that's a very strong side. That's in one semi. The other semi is Elizabeth RSL. So they're trying to do the double. Win the season and win it. Fabulous, yeah, which will still be at the pointy end again. And then they are playing Red Jays. Red Jays actually includes a couple of players from here too.
I think Chris Wilmer, Renee come in here.
Renee Spickett, yeah. So look, shout out to everyone, all the best. Semi-finals start 11:30 at Empire, and the grand final would be at 2:30 at Empire. So come down and watch some great pool. If you're around the place, doing a bit of Christmas shopping, want to have a break, come into Empire and support some of our best teams. And certainly it would include at least 15 state level players across those teams. So there's lots of quality pool to be watched. And I think that's about the wrap for April for this season.
What about 2 weeks ago, didn't they have the Schweppes Cup?
They did have the Schweppes Cup, actually, that's right. And obviously, because I had social obligations, unable to play, but that's probably why I was overlooked in film. But yes, we did actually make sure that we had the right finalists. So Mikey Cacciolo defeated Alec Evanatis in the final of the Schweppes Cup. So very nice, well, and even quite rare for Mikey to get over Alec. I think Alex had the wood on him for a while. He's won a few matches against Mikey this year. So yeah, shout out to Mikey for picking up that title, the last title of the year, I suppose, in 8 ball scene. There was a tournament, sorry. We missed the Ballarat Ballarat was reintroduced again, and that was only a week after the Nationals, so it was pretty hard, obviously made up the majority of Victorians, but that was taken out by Jake McCartney, and as we know, Jake's probably our premier 8-ball player, and he comes back in between his engagements in the UK and picks up a couple of tournaments and then flies back again.
John, my experience of the Ballarat was always his dad.
That's right, Wayne.
Whenever I went to play at Ballarat, you'd always get greeted by Wayne giving you odds on winning the tournament.
Yeah, that's
right. I would always. So for me, if I think of Ballarat, I always think of Wayne McCartney and
Kim, of course, because Kim actually did the majority of the spade work.
Yeah.
Wayne was the front man,
yeah,
and
so,
Kim did all the spade work and sort of all the behind the scenes, getting everything organised and making sure all the entries were in.
So typically, if his dad was still running the book, he might have cleaned up if his son won it on the weekend.
Well, he did actually turn up. He made an appearance at Albury.
Oh, cool.
And I had a chance to spend about 15 minutes with him. I would love to have spent longer, but I actually had a match to play. I said, look, we'll catch up afterwards. And then after our match, I couldn't find him. So I think it might have just been a lightning visit.
Yeah.
But it's probably the first time I've seen Wayne in at least 20 years.
Yeah.
But he looked great. He looked fantastic. And he's still enjoying life. And obviously very proud of his boy. And
Yeah.
Katie, their daughter, was there as well with her young one. So yeah, it was just obviously a little family gathering there, which was fantastic. So I'm really pleased. Shout out to you, Wayne. You always have great memories of you over the years, not just at Ballarat. I remember you made the final at Berry. I think Dalla beat you in the final with some miraculous breakout shot, if I remember correctly. Which was not unusual for Dalla. He could find a way of creating miracles. But yeah, it was just so cool to see Wayne, and shout out to Jake. I'm just trying to think who would be in the final now. Oh, I'm just trying to think. It was one of those things that just popped up, and because I paid so much, I just come back from Nationals. My wife's got so many things that I'm supposed to do that I didn't do before I went away.
Well, at least we know that Jake won it, so that's a good one.
Jake won it, and well done. So it's nice to have Ballarat reinstalled in the program, and obviously it's only fitting that as a comeback, Jake McCartney has won it. So.
Well, John,
I think that's about it, mate.
That's about it.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah. And thanks for tuning in and watching. And John and I love doing this. We get to chat with one another, and we get to pass on as much information as we can. So, in the future and next year, we're going to have a big year. So, anything you want us to get out there, please contact John or I. We're happy to talk about it.
Yeah, just we're easy to contact on Facebook. Most people that around the place have my phone number. But yeah, certainly more than happy to pass on anything that's happening in your state or in your province. Whether it be sort of down south. Actually, we've got a big state.
Yeah, anything we're happy.
So, Cuesports, that's what we love. That's what we talk about. Doesn't matter whether it's it's carom, billiards, snooker, 8-ball, 9-ball, 10-ball. We love it, and we're happy to promote it. So all the best for the Christmas and New Year. We'll catch up.
Happy New Year to everybody, and to you, John.
Cheers.
Pleasure.